Hello, and welcome to a Fortnight on the Isle, where I am a little bit too tall for frame. So let's back up just a little bit. Good news, finally, for, the first time in a while. After so many months after I put in an order for new internet, I finally have my new internet. So I've never seen the kinds of speeds that I have at the moment in my life before, so this is just a really cool thing to have happened finally, again, after so many months. I originally put in the order for this back in late May, and we've been trying to get switched over for like 18 months or something like that. So now that I'm actually switched over, it's pretty nice. Maybe I'll figure out how to run live streams on my second channel at some point and start doing some stuff over there, so I don't have to worry about editing my Let's Plays or other similar content over on that channel. But that's a little bit besides the point. We'll talk a tiny bit about that later. Either way, here's the reading for the past 2 weeks. There's actually not been too much going on in the reading sphere, which is kind of strange because the last fortnight has felt like an entire month or more all on its own. It's been really crazy. But as for the reading, I got a little over halfway through Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. I actually was essentially supposed to get a lot further than I did in this, but something happened in the middle of the last couple weeks. Last weekend, the e-arc for Disquiet Gods launched, and it launched a few days earlier than normal. Those few days were going to be spent finishing this, but once this came out, no, I dropped it for the moment. This is my main read for the time being. I'm just under halfway through, and I'm going to tell you what, this thing goes bonkers. It goes absolutely bonkers already. Like the first act, the end of the first act goes to insane places, and I've only heard it gets even crazier. Rakio's kind of outdone himself here. There's a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of callbacks and references, all very intentional, I can tell already, to books 2 and 3 in the series, which are basically the fan favorites. Howling Dark and Demon in White are the ones that most people love the most, generally speaking. But the book's been fantastic so far. Like I said, it's done some real brain-breaking, cool stuff that I really enjoyed and been real excited about reading, and I cannot wait to continue reading it this weekend and next weekend. I'm pretty sure at the pace that I've been going, I can have it done by the end of the month, which is absolutely crazy to me, because even though this thing is basically identical in length to Demon in White, I will be reading it in like half the time, basically. So that kind of says something about my enjoyment of it. Otherwise, that's basically all I've had going on in the reading sphere. There hasn't been a whole lot else to talk about, so let's jump right into my bi-weekly writing. I did do some name changes again. I know, like last time or the time before that at the absolute earliest, I changed some names for this first trilogy that I'm working on outlines with. Silent Rain being the first book. Second book was originally Halfway Hollow, which I then switched to Ballad of the Bird. Third book was The Lake of Ash, which I switched to Halfway Hollow. Well, this time around, I've once again switched things around. Book 3 is now Ballad of the Bird. Book 2 is Halfway Hollow again. Both titles work for both books, but I think Ballad of the Bird works a lot better for book 3 than it does book 2, relatively speaking. So I decided to switch them again and just kind of keep it now the way that it is. Either way, Halfway Hollow now, this second outline, I finally finished part 3, doing the revision of that outline, and I got all the way through part 4 as well, just finished that last night, which I'm pretty excited about. I should be finished with the whole thing by the end of the month. Part 5 is a little bit longer, a little bit lengthier, but based off of the pace that I was able to go last week, I think I'll be able to do the same thing this week, and since I'll have a whole nother week besides, to finish it up, I should be finished with this outline this month, and then I hope to be able to do the third book's outline in February and March. If it went shorter, that would be great, but that one's going to have a lot of overhauling to do, so I expect that one to take a little bit longer, unfortunately. But next up, the coming releases. There's a few things to talk about on this front. Not a whole lot that's super new. But on the 23rd, this Tuesday, I will have my review for Return to Adan by Philip Chase coming out. I'm very excited about that review. I think my written review for that one is also very good. In fact, I'm not even sure if my video review did much better, but, I have that review coming out nonetheless. Here I've been getting all mixed up and tongue-tied on the scheduling, trying to figure out why the schedule doesn't make sense. It's because I put things in the wrong order. This Thursday and then next Thursday, so between the 25th of this month and then the 1st of February, respectively, will be the 2023 Reading Tier List videos number 3 and 4, finishing up that little mini-series within the book binge that I've got going on, doing a tier list of all of the books that I read over the course of 2023. So those will be these next couple Thursdays. I already told you about this Tuesday for the Return to a Dan review. Next Tuesday on the 30th will be my third Author Talks video, where I talk with Philip Chase about the Adan trilogy and also about some other stuff. There will be a section at the beginning of that where we talk about Adan and his writing and stuff like that in a spoiler-free context, so anybody can watch that portion. Then we go into a spoiler-filled part of the video, and then at the very end of that, we also do a little bit of more miscellaneous talk that is pretty much unrelated to Adan and is therefore spoiler-free. So even if you haven't read that trilogy, you are able to watch probably 2/3 of that video, maybe a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure. I still have to get that edited and put together, even though I should have done that a couple weekends ago. But that will be coming out then. And the next episode of Short Story Sundays in a week from today on the 28th will be The Beast in the Cave by H.P. Lovecraft. I should be linking in the community page a link for that story where you can read it online for free because it is in the public domain. And then there should be, even in the description of the first episode of Short Story Sundays on Stein by Edgar Allan Poe, I think I linked to the Beast in the Cave story in that description as well if you are interested. On my second channel, again, nothing too crazy going on there. This Fortnight on the 26th and the next couple of Fridays will be my BioShock Let's Play from the 2020 backlog, episodes 4 and 5. Currently working on, though, a couple of blogs. So I already have these blogs written, but because I've been doing voiceovers, I guess, voice videos of my blogs as of recent for all my music related stuff and putting them on my second channel, I gotta work on those. It's going to be a long process. The editing process for those is going to be a lot longer because they'll be more in-depth than normal, because I figured that would be fun, and because I want them to be a little bit more special. Those will be for my admittedly very scuffed top 10 albums and EPs of 2023 and my top 10 games of 2023. Like I said, they're both written. I should have them recorded by the end of this weekend. I should have had them recorded already, but I was rather lazy last weekend. We'll just say that much about it. But all the all the audio work on those videos should be done this weekend. Then it's just a matter of getting them edited. The music one shouldn't take too terribly long to put together. The gaming one will probably take a lot longer because I'm going to actually include gameplay footage with that. So it'll probably not be till February that either of those are released, but that's fine because even last year the blocks themselves weren't released until February. So either way, that's cool. As for entertainment talk, I did finish playing Far Cry 6. Overall, it was a good, fun game. It was by no means a favorite of mine, but I did enjoy going through it. 100 hours spent in the game doing a 100% run, not including basically any of the DLC. It went a lot more smoothly than all 195 hours of Assassin's Creed Odyssey went literally 3 years ago. Because yeah, from December 25th, 2020 through January 25th, 2021, I spent 195 hours in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and that was absurdity. It really burnt me out on gaming, and especially that type of game. But 100 hours in right around the same time period, about a month of Far Cry 6, did not burn me out at all. I thought the gameplay loop was actually rather conducive, even for a game that was way bigger than it needed to be. So luckily, it didn't burn me out on any of that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I played Signalis last week on recommendation of my brother, but it was one that I already had interest in anyway. As for music talk, there's a couple things to shout out here. A favorite band of mine as of the last couple years, If I Were You, did release an album already, With or Without, starting this year off with an absolute banger. This is one that I do want to write a blog for and get a review up for. No idea if I'll be able to do that this week. Maybe if my editing on my book outline goes smoothly and I'm able to get a lot more of that done, I'll get this blog written and then just record and quickly edit the review for this album, get that up for next Monday or something like that. I don't even know what next Monday would be. What day would that be? On like the 29th or something, just to kind of do something for it, because I do want to talk about it. But maybe, maybe not. We'll see if I'm able to do that. Otherwise, another band, Bite the Goat, did release an album called Enemy. It was a decent album, unlikely to be on my top 10 for 2024, but of course, we'll see how this year goes. There were a few other singles that did release. Invent Animate released a single, Landmarks released a single, and Villain of the Story released a single, and all of them were quite enjoyable. Again, nothing that I would consider to be like absolute favorites, but all very fun and interesting songs. So go check those out if you are interested, and especially if you are a metalcore or similar type of metal fan. With that being said, that should be the end of this Fortnight on the Isle. I don't have anything else to say. This video turned out being quite a bit shorter than I thought it was going to be, but thank you guys for watching. As always, I seriously never take for granted the fact that I have an audience the way that I do. I check my YouTube studio, my statistics and stuff quite frequently, and it never ceases to amaze me that I've kind of jumped up to the point where I was compared to a couple of years ago when I first started this thing. So I greatly appreciate everybody who's been checking out not just these videos, but any of the videos that you may or may not have watched. I really appreciate all of you. So thank you again for watching. I'll be back on Tuesday, like I said, with a review for Return to Adan, favorite book of mine for 2023. I'll see you there.